My name is Kirby, and today what we are going to do is we're going to run a paint tutorial. So what I will be doing for today's video is we will be going through this particular armor piece. I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. So this particular piece, I believe I got at a dollar store quite a few years ago. On its own, it doesn't look too bad right now. It's mostly just like a black piece of like armor, I guess, with some really poorly done brass colored kind of dry brushing. So today what we're going to do is we will give this piece a full repaint. The goal for today is to basically make it look a little bit more realistic, because the sculpt is not bad. It's actually pretty decent on this, and we just want to enhance it with paint. So I will make this look like a distressed piece of armor. And to do so, you know, it's mostly just going to be utilizing black washes as well as silver dry brushing. So you might think, you know, oh, if we're going to make this look worn and dirty, the first thing we should do is, like, you know, put some cuts into it, maybe like drop in some gravel, take a drill and, you know, go to town with it, right? And on paper you would be correct, but for today's purposes, we want to solely focus on paint to see what you could get with just paint alone. So the first thing that we need to do is not sand this, to be honest, because I'm pretty familiar with plastics, and I'm pretty sure that this plastic could actually absorb paint pretty good. So what I have over here is a warm damp towel, and we're just going to rub it down and just kind of work it in, remove any like finger oils if possible. Then after that, we're going to hit it with a heat gun very lightly on the lightest setting, just to get rid of any excess moisture, and then we will be able to prep it for paint. And for something like this where it's clearly like one-sided, I'll actually show you a technique that I use to ensure that I can get full coverage without touching the surface itself during painting. Okay, so the way that I mount things is I use one of these hangers that, like, I think I got at Walmart. I got like a pair of bicycle shorts or something with this, I don't remember. And some duct tape. I've tried using masking tape before, as well as like painter's tape. It doesn't really, nothing works as well as duct tape, I find, in this particular usage case. So now it is basically prepped for painting. Alright, so let's talk about the paints that I will actually be using. For both the base coat and a primer, I will be using a flat gray by Rust-Oleum. For dry brushing, I'm actually going to be using this on in a cup, and then I'll brush it on top. This is their premium chrome series. A bit pricey, and arguably I don't need something like this, but I don't have any silver paints, and, you know, since we're in lockdown, it's not like I could just, you know, go out and grab all the paints that I want. So we gotta work with what we got. So for the sealant, I will be using a Rust-Oleum clear matte finish. And then for the black wash, I'll be using this pre-mix by Testers. This is their Creative Effects acrylic wash. It's like it's not quite a full black wash. There's like some slight brown hints to it, so that's why I prefer using this, because it looks a little bit more natural than other premixes. But you know, you could always just take some black and brown paint and mix it and then water it down if you wish, or even use shoe polish. It's a good it's very sufficient for what we will be doing today. But for now, what I need to do is go ahead and prime this. Let me just raise this. So right now what we need to do is prime this. So I will shake up this can for approximately 2 minutes, head outside, and just hit it. I'm guessing just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then same thing vertically, and then it should be good. So yeah, the other reason why I like putting this on a hanger, by the way, is because I will be hanging this probably like just up here, and then that way we just let it sit and dry. So we'll be right back. Forgot to mention, the wait time for this to dry is approximately half an hour, but since I will be painting over this with other stuff almost immediately, what I'm going to do is let it sit for a little bit longer. I say that, but really that's just an excuse because I haven't ate anything yet. So I'm going to hit this with the gray primer, hang it up like on that hook that you see over there, and then I'll get something to eat, and at the same time this will dry. So it's like a win-win situation. So yeah. Alright, so it's a little bit cold outside, I'm not going to lie. I did not expect that, but we do have the first coat of primer down. I sprayed this on about 5 minutes ago, and it's already pretty much, it looks like it's dry to touch at least. I'm not gonna risk it because there's no biscuit. Instead, I'm making food right now, so what I'm gonna do is just hang it up here and just let it dry for like the full, at least an hour or so. And then the first thing that we will probably do is go with a light coat of the wash, and then some silver in a cup for dry brushing, and then dust it over again with a little bit more of the black wash. But yeah, time to chow down. So I've went ahead and dismounted it from the little hanger that we had earlier, and this is what the result is. It looks like it's a flat gray object because that is currently exactly what it is. So we will be using this, the acrylic wash, and we will be coating it and then working it in basically. So it's a bit hard to tell with this particular lighting. I'll maybe do some close-up B-roll later, but basically not only did we darken the piece and make it look a little bit more aged, but we got a lot of kind of grime and dirt into the recesses of the sculpt, and we kind of defined it some more from earlier. It is still drying. I could actually just hit it with a heat gun in a low setting and get it to completely cure, but I just wanted to let you, like, kind of show you guys how it does come off. And I think we defined the sculpt a lot, especially in this kind of fan detailing piece over here, as well as some of the recesses around the wrist. So I just hit that with the cup with the spray paint, so I ain't got a lot of time to work with here. So let me unglove myself and get back to work. Basically now what I'm going to do is take a different brush and dip it into the paint, wipe off a majority of it, and then I'm going to go to town with dry brushing. Okay, so it's not perfect, but I got it close to how I want it, and it's certainly sufficient to sort of provide you with an example of it. But this is basically all of the painting done. There's no easy way to hold this. So yeah, you can see it looks very different from before. I just realized this kind of looks like the Infinity Gauntlet from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. But you could see, you know, you could kind of see how it looks a lot more defined than it was earlier. And honestly speaking, the way that this works is, think of it like the gray as the midtone, the black wash as the shadows, and then the silver dry brushing as highlights. So that's how you get more depth without having to carve it into the object itself. And as you can see, you kind of don't need to do a whole lot. You just need to focus on the edges. So yeah, you could even, if you want to, go back into the recesses and do another black wash. And that does two things. It dulls down the silver a little bit, and also redefines the lowlights as well, or shadows as well. But this is good enough for how I like it. So what I'm going to do next, after letting it sit for like another 20 minutes, is I'll hit it with two coats of this. So basically I'll just shake it up for 2 minutes, coat the whole thing once, wait 20 minutes or half an hour, and then do it again, and then wait for the full 4 hours. And in the meantime, what I will probably do is clear up the whole table, and then I'll take some B-roll of this, and then it should be playing right now.